Yes, hello, Danhausen here. Very nice, Fravel, very famous, etc., etc. Catchphrase, letting you know that you are watching KC's Rawhausen, that's right. Wonderful video game channel, retro games, all that wonderful stuff. And have a nice time, enjoy these video games, or be cursed. Do not press the A button. It'll turn off the game, I think. Anyways, see you later.
What's up, guys? My name's Casey's Raw. I have my friend AJ Raiders over here.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome. We're going to be reviewing Dark Side of the Ring, the Big Boss Man. This is the first time we're actually on Twitch. I thought we were going to be on X, but apparently you had to pay for X to go live, so fuck X. So we're going to just go on YouTube and Twitch right now. So we just figured to expand out a little bit. So
Yay, a little bit more freedom.
yeah. So before we move on, I made the thumbnail and ran it through AI. And before we get through everything, what we usually do, take a look at this. This is the reason why I didn't start off with this. So I'll show you this clip right now.
Welcome to the dark side of the ring. Tonight, we review the real story, the corruption, the cover-ups. Big Boss Man is here to expose it all. The Quote Out Wrestling World. For the wrestling world, go spray the skull want you to hear. Stay locked in, Tim, for the full review.
That is messed up, for one. If you look on his head, it looks like he has cum dripping from his head. That is not sweat.
But right in the middle of that clip, we got Tex joins us. I said, hey, if you want to come in and talk about the Big Boss Man, you're welcome to join us. But Tex, low-key, we're actually on Twitch, so we have to be a little bit more careful what we say here. But we're also
So I can't talk about how Big Boss Man beat down Black Hogan in their famous match all those years ago?
That's probably as much you could do right there.
Oh, I'm being censored, folks. This might as well just be Communist China. Communist Casey. That's his nickname, Communist Casey. Silencing people.
CC.
What's up? Yeah. What's up? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So I know, Tex, you don't like Dark Side of the Ring at all. You're heavily against it. But what I mean
do not support socialist bullshit that the Vice Network is. They can fuck themselves with a red hot poker as deep as they want to go. It's fun. So, yeah.
I think they usually do pretty good show. Like, obviously the TNA story with actually me and AJ both agree. Well, I mean, actually, yeah, that actually had Dark Side. The previous episode between Samoa Joe versus Necro Butcher wasn't really deserved the Dark Side of the Ring name because there wasn't really anything dark about it. But
maybe they're running out of topics to talk about because there's 15,000 wrestling podcasts that talk about this stuff on a repeat basis, and they're just treading water here. So they're digging deep, maybe.
I disagree. I think Dark Side of the Ring has plenty to go. They could have done a whole season.
Now,
on
given
TNA.
I didn't watch the Big Boss Man Dark Side, but I know enough to talk about it. The darkest thing about him was he what a drug problem.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That and he died very young.
There's a list of 100+ wrestlers that had that exact same thing happen to them.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying you don't always have to have the dark side of the wrestlers. It's good that they branching doing something else because, I mean, it's something different. But first time I ever seen the Big Boss Man is when he came back from WCW, when he came back into the WWF, when he was the SWAT version of the Big Boss Man. So
you never saw him in the blue shirt in the old days?
Nope. That was before I started watching it.
So wait. The WWF Mark didn't know about when Big Boss Man was actually something, not Vince McMahon's bitch.
I knew about. No, I was saying when I seen retroactively, but not like when watch it in the 80s or early 90s. No, but and also I didn't see his WCW run. So
There was 2 runs of each.
Well,
one.
6 yeah, which
about
one?
It.
Yeah,
because you got NWA Jim Crockett Promotions, then you had the WWF, then he went back to WCW, then back to WWF. There's 2 different timelines here.
Yeah. In the original run, he was just Big Bubba Rogers. He was with Cornette and the Midnight Express, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was the Midnight. Yeah, it was the Midnight. Yeah, Midnight Express. It was before. Just before the Rockers.
And then he came back with 15 different names, from the Guardian Angel to Boss to Ray Trailer. What else was he in WCW? I can't remember.
Actually, it's
you hit the nail on the head.
Was that all of them? I thought there was more. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally, when I seen him, he was on. He was Ray Trailer when he was on Nitro. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that because that's why I wanted to bring this up. He doesn't have as many names as Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Well, that's because he didn't carry weed for Hogan, so he didn't get as many opportunities. So, it's a little different.
But also you had the Big Boss Man, and then you can lower it down to Boss Man. Then obviously got Big Boss Man. Apparently he wrestled as the Man. Then you had Big Bubba. Then you got Big Bubba Rogers, the Boss.
Well, he was originally Big Bubba Rogers, and when, like AJ brought up a minute ago, after he came back to WCW, then he was Big Bubba before he became Ray Trailer in the NWO. I want to say, I think that's how it happened. I could be wrong.
No, well, when he was in NWA Jim Crockett Promotions, he was Big Bubba Rogers.
Was he Big Bubba first?
And then he was Big Bubba Rogers? And then he left to go to WWF as the Big Boss Man, left back to WCW, and then all the 15 different names he had, which they should have just, honestly, because how WCW was, they used real people's names. Why didn't they just call him Ray Trailer like they did in like 96, 97 when he was there? It would just have made more sense.
I don't know. I mean, that's not a good name. I mean,
why not? Scott Hall is. Kevin Nash.
I will say it was hilarious. Right after he did the Big Boss Man run, he goes back to WCW. He's literally wearing the same outfit, but instead of a blue shirt, it's black. But it's literally.
And you can't forget 2 things too. He doesn't have
Exact same
the
thing.
Georgia flag on his sleeve like he did in the WWF, which the old
Right.
Georgia flag was this circle with the stars and bars.
Right.
He didn't have that.
But it was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to wrestle again. Let me recreate my wrestling attire, but it's a black shirt. I still have the nightstick. I'm doing everything the same, except for the color of my shirt is different. That was literally the only difference in the two gimmick changes. And it was, but I'm assuming there was a lawsuit. They had to change it or whatever. They'd have to go on those days.
Well, it was pretty much, God, what they call it,
Copyright infringement.
Yeah. So, well, they used the name The Boss, so they're like, oh, that's, and like you said, he was wearing a police officer uniform, so
They could have named him Chief or the Chief. I mean, that could have been one too.
Big, he could have been prison guard, or I mean, there's if you're going to stick with the gimmick of he's he's the enforcer. There you go. Yeah. There's the name, right? The enforcer. I like that.
Well, no, they couldn't use that because Arn Anderson.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I mean, hold on. That's the nickname of him in the Four Horsemen, though.
Yeah, but in that time, he had Arn Anderson on his underwear tights. He had enforcer on there, so it would kind of make no sense.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to overdo one of your top guys like that or whatever.
Well, one thing I didn't realize watching The Dark Side of the Ring, that he actually was a prison guard in Cobb County, Georgia.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a gimmick. I didn't think he was actually a guard. But I mean, that was one of the things. Vince was like, he would hear about your past work history. And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. Like, I mean, like I was going to say the same thing with Paul Bearer. Like, I mean, he was coming up with The Undertaker. I mean, and like, God, him being an actual Undertaker, like, I mean, it was just crazy that
let's be honest. It was a lazy way to come up with a character. Oh, what do you do in real life? Oh, I'm a car mechanic. Oh, you're the grease monkey. You go out there with a big pipe wrench, and you hit people, with the size 10 socket on the ratchet or something. That's basically how creative was done. I mean, they had repo men, trash men, hockey players. It wasn't very creative. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. I agree. But obviously they weren't doing anything with the cops as wrestlers. So, and then I kind of
how are you going to fill out the rest of the Village people? They already had Tatanka, right? So they needed a cop for the rest of the YMCA people. Did they ever have a construction worker in WWF? I can't remember. I don't know. Yeah. But they probably did.
No, William Regal, when he first came into the WWF, he was Steven Regal. He was the man's man, and he was dressed up like, I guess he was more like a lumberjack, but he had the hard hat.
I think it was more of a construction worker.
Well, to say, Lord Steven Regal was WCW. That was a different company.
Oh, No, he was still, when they first came in the first time, he was Steven Regal, but he was the man's man, though, too.
I don't remember that, but you watch more WWF than I did, so
but that's the only thing comes close to like a construction guy. But I believe he had like an axe that he would carry, so I think he was a lumberjack. So
there you go.
But I mean, obviously, you got the biker dude. I mean, that could have been anyone,
Right,
Undertaker, or you could think about LOD. I mean, LOD was pretty much
no. Ella, first of all, it's the Road Warriors is their correct name. It's the name that they had in NWA and WCW. Thank you very much. But they were based off of Mad Max. Those movie characters.
Yeah.
They weren't bikers. They weren't. I mean, have you ever seen Mad Max? That's where they got it.
No, but
Well, I thought the same way with Demolition when we were talking about that a while back, Tex, that Demolition was more like Mad Max as well.
Well, Demolition was knockoffs of the Road Warriors or Legion of Doom, whatever you want to call it. But
Road Warriors.
Now, Demolition was like the gay version. I mean, they're that very question. I never got it. Now, I'm not I was never a WWF kid, but very leather daddy gay thing. Yeah, very questionable. I never got into that part. But
well, we got MK3 Kratos joining us. What's up, dude?
Oh, there goes the neighborhood. My goodness.
What's up?
Kratos, I had to give the guys a heads up. We are also streaming on Twitch, so we kind of
we're being censored. We can't speak
PG,
freely
don't
here.
worry.
We're being censored
PG,
over
don't
here.
worry.
Cases,
I just want to test the waters. Obviously, our home base will always be YouTube, but
you just wait till the next time that you're not on. I'm saying so many naughty words. It's gonna be stupid. You're not even gonna know what to do with me.
Actually, we're gonna. I was also gonna try to put us on X, but when I hit live, he wanted us to. Wanted me to pay for premium. I was like, well, fuck. So I ended that part. Well, it's like I said, I want to throw out why.
Okay, well, to get it back on topic here, let me ask y'all, AJ, what were your overall thoughts about this episode? I'm assuming you watched it, correct?
Yeah, I watched it twice, actually, back to back. Honestly,
was it good? Was it a waste of time?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. No, I enjoyed it. The only thing that really sucked about it is that he should have stayed in WCW instead of going back to the WWF, because that's when he actually, developed the whole painkillers and all that, working 300 days a year when WCW only wanted 150 days. And actually, if you think about it, Casey, a lot of this documentary, while they were talking about, they all have the same person that prescribes painkillers, and that's Dr. Ashton, who they even what was that? I think Big Boss Man's wife, Angela, said that she saw Chris Benoit going there and getting the prescriptions from him. Right.
I was actually going to lead into that. Yeah, I was actually going to lead into that. That is a big problem, because it proves that Benoit was on something leading into 07.
Oh, definitely.
Well, yeah, they said
he's getting pills from that
wrestlers.
Oh, well, that was never in question. He was on many things. That was never a question.
And even Nancy, according to text, said that even she and him both knew that the wellness policy was a complete joke, according to text messages between Nancy and Chris leading up to the tragedy. That's according to actual coverage from Cultaholic about the incident. It's just, I don't know why she just randomly mentioned Benoit was one of the wrestlers. My jaw dropped when that was mentioned.
I'd be willing to bet, because both of them were working WCW around the same time and WWF. They both lived in Georgia. They probably knew each other, if I had to guess.
Oh, definitely.
Spent time with one another. I mean, I don't know how close they may have been, but I know at that time you had the Steiners were living in Georgia. Benoit.
They still do. Speaking of that, you said the Steiners. From what I was when I watched that video, they were saying that the Steiner brothers were really close with Ray, so they
Oh,
like,
sure.
they
Well,
would
yeah,
come over to
because
the
I mean,
house and hang out
yeah.
with the kids. Both kids.
Well, think about it. When Ray Traylor joined the NWO, that was pre Steiner brothers turning on one another and Big Papa Pump and all that, and they had a bunch of tag team matches against each other.
I actually do remember that time when he was in the NWO. I'm surprised I didn't mention it on this episode.
He was actually kind of early in the NWO, like
I know,
the first
early
10 people,
like
maybe.
He was in there when Nick Patrick was their personal
97.
referee, like January '97. To be honest,
yeah, it was pretty early. It wasn't like towards the end. It was like, I mean, it wasn't like
early
top 5,
days.
but I'd say maybe top 10 people in the NWO. And I mean, he was a big
Yeah, because I think he was one of the bodyguards. Because you had
he was the muscle. He was the muscle. He was the muscle.
Yeah.
Even Michael Wall Street, IRS, was even in the NWO.
Yeah.
Who wasn't in the NWO? That's the thing.
I'm pretty sure I was
The
in
Nasty
the
Boys.
I'm pretty sure I was in the NWO by the end of it. I think we all
Me too. If you had an NWO shirt in '97 as a kid, you were a part of it.
Hey, Casey can go to his clothes pile right now and dig up 3 dirty NWO shirts.
He just jumped on the pile.
Hold on. How do you know about my clothes pile?
Because I know you don't do laundry until it stands up by itself. That's when Casey does laundry.
We don't condone that, Twitch. I'm sorry. We don't condone that. We don't condone bullying.
Google China. We're fine. See.
No, Jesus.
We love Hillary Clinton. There, we're safe from everything now.
Oh God, I remember Big Boss Man returning in '98 in the WWF because that's when, that's pretty much about the time I was getting into wrestling, and like I said, that was when I first saw Big Boss Man when he was the SWAT version of his
SWAT team version.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I did not know that he missed a cue in the Deadly Games tournament. I did not know he had a spot that was involved with Austin, which would have led to a feud with the two guys.
No.
I mean,
about the steel chair spot in the Deadly Games tournament, mind you, which was in St. Louis in Survivor Series.
Yeah, but would it actually moved on to something? I mean, I don't think it
would have.
I disagree. I don't think it was a big program. It would probably been like
maybe not a big program, but maybe a mini feud for a couple of weeks.
When he come back to WWF, the only thing, I mean, y'all could probably correct me remembering wise, but the only things I can remember being of noteworthy is he dragged the Giant's daddy's casket through the grave,
which led to a 3-minute WWF match at the following pay-per-view that year.
He got the Undertaker fake hung him from the Hell in the Cell
with his family watching ringside,
and then didn't he ate a dog?
Fed Al Snow Pepper. He fed Al Snow Pepper. Now Al Snow is no saint in that story either. Al Snow is no saint.
Okay, never mind.
No, he fed it to Al Snow.
I think that's my best part. My favorite part is when he fed Pepper to Al Snow. He's
kayfabe fed. Kayfabe fed. Let's be clear. Kayfabe fed.
Is Rat Dog okay? Can we visibly see him alive so we know you haven't eaten him?
Oh Jesus! There goes Twitch monetization.
Mm-hmm. He's doing just fine right here.
We're gonna need a Duke to hold up today's newspaper to know he's alive. This is what we're gonna do.
Oh God! Now the only reason why I say Al Snow is no saint in that storyline, he wasn't taking care of the dog to begin. He wasn't taking care of the dog properly to begin with, because the owner of the dog claimed that Pepper was underfed and demanded to have the dog back, or else she'd sue the company.
I got my first comment from Twitch.
That is a bot.
Okay.
Okay, but to be fair, Wasn't Al Snow playing the crazy guy that talked to a mannequin though?
Yeah,
Yes, same guy
yeah.
So I mean,
of the Job Squad.
Are you really going to hold him too accountable for anything? You know what I mean?
no.
No.
Well, I only say he's no saint because he was in charge of taking care of the dog, according to the owner of said dog, the real owner.
Well, before we go through all our memories like that, let's go. I got the bullet points right here. Like,
Let's go.
Go ahead.
we got obviously found out that he was an actual guard from in Cobb County, Georgia, but he was never formally trained and learned on the job after Dusty Rhodes noticed him. So he debuts as Big Bubba Rogers as Jim Cornette's bodyguard in Jim Crockett Productions. And then
Jim Crockett Promotions. Sorry.
Yeah.
Correction. Sorry.
Became a full-time wrestler after being recognized by inmates while still working both jobs. I didn't know about that. I knew that, I guess the warden asked him, you either to be a guard or you can be a wrestler. You can't be both. And he was getting paid more to be a wrestler than the guard. So, I mean, obviously I would took the wrestling spot too. But then it says notable early spots. Dusty Rhodes broke a non-gimmick wooden chair over his head, and Bubba barely reacted, making him look like a monster. So, yeah, they let us know that that wooden chair wasn't gimmicked. But that was his early career, pretty much in the NWA, before he moves to the WWF as the prison
Big
guard.
Boss Man.
Yeah, the Big Boss Man.
But you forgot 2 points in that NWA run, his initial run. You forgot about the 2 scaffold matches he was involved in. The one where he completely missed catching Jim Cornette at Starrcade 86. And he was shoved back. He was kicked in the nuts and lost the match at Starrcade 87 in the same gimmick.
Thing is that having a scaffold match is kind of stupid. I mean,
it became stupid after the New Jack incident at XPW.
Well,
that's when it became, I guess, outlawed.
Oh shit! Let me bring Tex.
Since Casey's not going to wear a wrestling shirt, I will pull it off for him. Thank you very much.
Hold on, I'm wearing a wrestling.
Is that a WCW one? Is that a WCW one, Tex?
Yeah, this is the WCW Hulkster T-shirt from his website. I got it.
Not too long nice.
Ago. That's
nice.
Awesome.
And it's nicer than any.
It doesn't say WCW on it. It would have been cool.
Right. Well, you know, it is what it is. But it's nicer than every wrestling T-shirt that Casey has. So there you go.
I'll tell you what, though. A little bit off topic here. Tex, there is a video game coming soon. I think next year. It's basically Hellraiser, the video game. Do you think you'll be getting it? It's based on the Hellraiser movie series.
If you want to talk Hellraiser, AJ's your guy for that. That's not my franchise, but I think I'll pass on that. So.
You mean Halloween too? Halloween's gonna be a good one too.
Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's behind you, Tex. That House of 1,000 Corpse. I love that.
Well, I've got. Let's see. You've got
just a little off topic.
Rob Zombie Halloween 1 and 2.
Let me bring that up. There you go.
Rob Zombie, and these are from theater posters, not whatever. Then you got House of 1,000.
I love it.
You got the 10th anniversary of Saw, and there's some others over there.
Nice.
Once again, my background is superior to Casey's.
Well, it's because you got the wood paneling that makes it superior.
Well, and there's no CGI. I can touch mine, so I know mine's real, Casey.
Oh.
Damn.
Mhm.
Ouch.
I could go over there and touch that.
I bet you could. I bet you could. Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Either way, I see your Triple H shirt, but the Hulkster tops Triple H every time. So, sorry, brother. Sorry.
Well, if you really think about it, they're both kind of racist. If you really think about it, I mean,
Oh Jesus.
Please,
but
please.
but like, I mean, when did you guys really start watching wrestling? I mean, did you start watching it when he was
80s.
in W? In the
80s
80s?
when I came out of my mom's snatch, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mid 90s for me. Mid 90s for me.
So when was
Let's
your
see.
first time you ever seen Ray trailer?
Easy for you to say.
When did I
WWF.
first see Big Boss
Oh.
Man? Was he on the Over the Edge card? I can't remember. All I remember is Owen Hart falling.
I don't know.
The first time I ever saw him would have had to have been WWF whenever he was Big Boss Man, like AJ just said.
Yep.
But I didn't really care for him until honestly he joined NWO. Like I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. I mean, I know I'm a mark for WCW, and I don't care. He knows it, but that's what I thought about it.
I think the first time I saw him on TV was during the Dark Wedding angle.
I don't know that.
The Dark Wedding angle with the Undertaker having Stephanie McMahon on his symbol.
Oh, well, I mean,
and he was like coming out to join the.
He was going to crucify her and then diddle
marry her.
Well, I was about to say a non-Twitch safe word, but diddle her. Sorry,
something like that. Yeah.
I'm not used to being PG text over here. I don't like this censorship, so I'm having to hold back my words. So.
I'm not gonna say it's. I'm not gonna say it's going to be permanent. I just want to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's
not forget someone
and not a trend.
Let's not forget. We can pause. We can pause stream for this because I want to mention this off stream.
No, we can't. It's live.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we're live, pal.
Oh well. It was about like that dark. It was about that Dark Wedding angle to begin with. It was about the Dark Wedding angle. About like I think it was like Midian. Whoever played Midian at the time was admitted that he was on acid during that segment.
Probably.
Maybe.
No, the man admitted it himself.
Okay.
Years later, he admitted it on a podcast.
Well, think about it. I mean, at that time, I know this is getting sidetracked a little bit, but at that time, they didn't care. The only thing they really cared about coming up in your piss test is marijuana,
steroids,
and steroids. They didn't care about anything else. That's why they didn't really.
Are you going to drug
and
test?
That's why the wellness policy failed.
On this review, Casey?
What?
Are you, drug tests aren't required to be passed to be on your live streams, are they? We're good, right?
Sure.
Okay. Just to say because I'm gonna need a couple of weeks before I can pass that test. We're gonna need a little bit of time. You know what I mean?
Just don't mind that cup that's heading towards your email.
Jesus.
But
Christ.
But at that time they didn't really care about that. I mean, honestly, they didn't start caring until the whole
mid 2000s.
Yeah, but it's one of the funniest parts. I remember watching it retroactively is when you had the Big Boss Man versus the Mountie. So you got the American cop versus a Canadian cop, And like,
even Jacques Rougeau admitted he wasn't even a real cop, and he loved to piss people off.
well, duh. I
Who-
mean, it's a gimmick.
Didn't he fight a prisoner at some point?
Nails.
Yeah,
I think it was Nails.
Yeah, nails.
Something like that. Yeah.
But what was funny is, like, I guess they had a Big Boss Man versus the Mountie. Whoever loses spends the night in jail, and the Mountie lost, so he spent the night in jail. So I was like, and the Mountie was the heel, and the Big Boss Man was the face. So I was like, I mean, they were trying to pretty much say Canadian cops are the bad guys, but
Well, they suck anyways.
I mean, if you commit a crime in Canada, you just say I'm sorry 3 times and they let you go. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. You just sincerely apologize and like, okay, don't do it again, and you can walk away free. I've been told. I don't know if it's true or not, but you never know.
before we move on, let me ask you something. Let's say the Big Boss Man gimmick is here today. Do you think let's say he's back to being a normal cop? Do you think he'd be a heel, especially what's going on?
No, you don't make him a cop. You make him an ice agent, and you make him a heel, and he goes after all the brown wrestlers. That's what you do.
Yeah, that would work. That would work in WWE.
Yeah.
Because
I'd play
that's
that
the
role.
only way to get actual
There you
cancel
go.
culture after
Yeah.
them. That's the only way to
Yeah.
get cancel culture after someone.
Yeah, there you go.
You can cut remember, let's not forget, JBL's whole anti Mexican gimmick was supposed to be a face gimmick at one point. They only made it heel because they didn't have any heels on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, he was a face when he was part of the APA, and
That was so funny. Watching the footage of JBL hunting Mexicans on the border was amazing.
Believe it or not, that was supposed to be a face gimmick at first, but there was no top heels at the time.
No,
Undertaker was out with surgery, and other heels that were at the top at the time were out. So they made him heel because initially it was supposed to be face, from what I heard.
No, he was.
They were actual. Go ahead.
When he became JBL, he became a heel right there. He wasn't face JBL. He was a heel from the beginning. So
I know that, but I'm just saying, the whole Mexican deportation shit was initially planned as a face gimmick, according to people who were, according to reports at the time. That was initially supposed to be a face gimmick.
Well,
it just became the heel gimmick because it was seen on TV as vile and devious. Let's not forget, the real solidification for his heel run was him goose walking in Germany while as his character.
What's wrong with doing that? Nobody bad has ever done that before. What are you talking about?
Well, he lost his job at CNBC at the time. He lost his spot on CNBC at the time, but he also was claimed to be reprimanded by WWE. But then a couple weeks later, won the WWE title from Eddie Guerrero.
There you go.
Well, let's go ahead and move on back.
Let's move on.
Back to the Big Boss Man. So, so he becomes the cop in WWF or the prison. Well, it says right here he debuts in the WWF in 1988 as the Big Boss Man, a corrupted prison guard heel with a nightstick. So, I mean, I guess he would still be a heel today, but he feuded with Hulk Hogan.
Depending on your political persuasion, whether you're pro or anti law enforcement, that's really that's the whole thing with that gimmick is where do you stand on it? That's a very political thing, you know what I mean?
Nowadays, yes.
And that's why they never do that gimmick today, because they're they're too worried about upsetting like 10 people on Twitter, and
Oh,
about a few people who aren't supporting your product anyways might say something online that gets somebody upset. So,
that
Mm.
or they'll go after your sponsors. I mean, that's what
right.
happens. Anytime they have a problem, they'll go after your sponsors. I mean, that's the whole thing that happened was the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal.
Hmm. I
And
mean, personally, the whole going after sponsors thing is just bullshit. Sorry, Twitch. It's just
no,
malarkey.
Oh yeah.
no,
Oh yeah.
It's just malarkey.
I think
We have to say Twitch safe word. So that was malarkey. That's what that was malarkey. That was
Well, I was
was
gonna say
tarnation. That was bad.
Carnage.
Herb.
Bad.
It's just horrible.
Sorry.
Horrible,
I'm trying-
like bullying
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Go ahead.
So let's go ahead and go back. So let's see. He feuded with Hulk Hogan in a steel cage match on Saturday night's main event. The famous top of the cage suplex that they repeated on the house show loop. So that's funny that I guess, hold on, would Hogan give him the suplex off the steel cage? Because I don't see Boss Man giving Hulk Hogan the suplex. I
Well,
mean,
it's got to work for him, brother. I mean, we know how. I don't imagine Hulk Hogan taking that bump. I mean, well, he's kind of, when you're doing that move, you're both taking a bump, but
Yeah.
do you want to be
I
upside
don't
down
see
doing it or
Hulk-
the right side up?
I don't see Hulk Hogan doing the full rotation for that bump either. From outside the cage back in, I don't see him wanting to do that full rotation bump.
Let's see, what year
That's
did that
just me.
match happen?
88, 89?
I don't have it right on it. It's
I think it was like 88 or 89.
Well, I say this because was this in the era where Undertaker faked it, where Hulk Hogan got a fake neck injury from Undertaker's tombstone where he never even hit the mat? Was it kind of in that Hogan era?
I would say
No, it was. I think it was before. I think it was before Undertaker even got in the company.
Okay.
Give me a second to look it up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That was
Give me a
February
second to look it
5th,
up.
1989.
There we go.
Okay.
if it was 89, then yeah, it was before that then.
Okay.
Because
Before Mania 5. A month before
Okay.
Mania 5.
Okay, so it's, Undertaker was going to go for. He won the title in '91, so then yes, it was before that.
Just barely then, because what? Taker won the title like a year or so when he just come around.
Hey, well, he came in.
No, he won it in November of 91. Survivor Series
Yeah, that's what I'm
91.
saying.
This was in 89.
Okay.
This was back when Hogan
So 2 years.
was
okay.
not even a champion.
Well,
This was
if it
when
was
Savage was champion
well,
in his 1
the
year
point I'm
reign.
trying to make is where
Go ahead.
Hogan, if Hogan's not going to like, oh, you hurt my neck, brother, he's probably not going to be jumping off of the cage upside down, is what I'm saying. So yeah,
That's
Boss
what
Man
I'm
is
saying too.
probably going to be the one going upside down from the cage if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same. That's why I said I don't see him doing a full rotation bump on a suplex from outside the cage back into the ring.
So
Did
let's see.
Did Bossman ever win any titles in WWF?
Yeah,
I think it was IC and European champion at one
No.
point.
No,
Only IC champ.
Nope. Well, I can double check. I'm on the Wikipedia actually. So, but
I know he was
won-
at some point hardcore champion.
Yeah,
Go
he's
ahead.
the heart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
no, he-
everybody was hardcore champion. That meant nothing.
So he
Mhm.
had the hardcore title 4 times, the tag
Mhm.
team title once with Ken Shamrock. and that was it.
What about with the Twin Towers? He wasn't tag champs with the Twin Towers and Hakeem the African Dream?
Nope.
Wow.
Well, Wikipedia says one time with Ken Shamrock. That was it.
That has to have been corporate ministry days.
Let's see.
Has to
AJ,
have been during corporate ministry.
he never had gold in WCW either, right? I can't remember that.
Nope. Nope.
Maybe.
Well, let me.
Maybe.
He
I
wants,
think
he
maybe
challenged
the
Hogan.
television title. Maybe the
He
television
challenged
title.
Hogan for the
Well,
he challenged Hogan for the world title on the opening on the first Nitro. That's for sure.
Well, like I'm on the, like I said, I'm on the Wikipedia page right now. He only won at.
Mhm.
He only won the Universal Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship
No one
And-
cares about UWF.
and the WWF tag team belts and the hardcore belts. That's it.
Interesting.
He only
so he
held-
was another one of those big. He was another one of those big names that kind of never got gold or whatever.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Wonder why. It's weird.
Well, to be honest with you, if you listen to what I heard earlier or said earlier, he also wrestled Hulk Hogan for the world title on the first Nitro in '95, but that was his only shot. I guess his only title shot at the time, and he lost.
Yeah.
The night Luger showed back up in WCW.
Yeah. All American. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Back when Hulk Hogan was trying to get over Pastamania, brother.
Hey, Pastamania rules. I'll have you know very much. So, you know.
Yeah, ruled so much that the section of the mall it was in is shut down.
Well,
So, okay, Casey, let me ask you this. You're more of a dark side loyalist watching this show.
yeah.
I asked AJ earlier, given like what I said in the beginning of this, the darkest thing about Bossman was, he was just one of many wrestlers that had a drug problem. Does this constitute a dark? Now keep in mind, this is the dark side of the ring. So literally, the title of the show would constitute something bad enough happened that this deserved to be talked about. Or do you think this episode was, we need a topic that's a big name, people know Big Boss Man? Which way do you think that goes?
It was. I would say the latter, because
You think so? Okay.
well,
I
yeah,
agree.
Because I mean, yeah, he had pill problem, but see, in the 80s and 90s,
Give me a wrestler who didn't have a drug problem in the 80s. That was in the job description. That's kind of part of it.
It's like AJ said earlier, is like when you're in WCW, you're working half the dates, so you're having a better quality of life. But you're in the
Right.
WWF, you're working over 300 days a year. So obviously, if you have injuries, you're going to go to get a pill problem, have a pill problem eventually. But
Well,
You know who I can say did not have a drug problem at all in his entire career, as far as I know. Former WCW light heavyweight champion Jushin Thunder Liger.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he never had to work a WWF schedule either.
well, that's what
He worked
I mean,
WCW and New Japan. That's brutal enough.
Well,
I've never
WCW and New Japan
understood- I mean,
schedules.
I've watched I don't watch it nearly like I used to, but I've never understood why wrestling didn't have some kind of an off season like other sports. How many guys' lives could have been better if they had you don't have to take half of the year off. Half the guys run these 6 months. The next go the other 6. A lot of people would have been better off if that would have happened. You still could have had a wrestling show. I mean, hell, it's basically call it a brand split, whatever. 6 months out of the year, Raw goes. The other half, SmackDown goes. Whatever it may be. it would be better off. But I don't.
To be honest, with that type of scheduling, you would also have to worry about fans forgetting wrestlers on the other brand of the program that did not have TV time for 6 months.
Okay, when you watch, what's your favorite TV show? Just give me a name of a show.
Let's see. The Blacklist was a good show.
Okay,
they have all season of film.
When you watch a season of The Blacklist, right? It runs 13 episodes. Do you forget 15, the entire 13 to 15 episodes, 13 to 15 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. By the time the next season comes around, have you forgotten what happened last season, or do you remember?
I mostly remember because they usually take a mid-season break between the fall and winter to film the second half of the season. Yeah.
You could do the exact same thing with wrestling, and it would have been better. And people like Big Boss Man maybe wouldn't have developed a drug problem. You never know.
See, I think, to me,
go ahead, Casey, you first.
To me, I think the problem is like back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s when they're working way too many dates, and now today because TKO they pretty much eliminated the house show. So I mean, they went the exact opposite.
Well, yeah. Nowadays, you could do My Plan. In the 80s, it may not have worked, but with as light of a schedule as they have now, I think it's more likely. I think it's at least worth a try, you know.
But it also leads to more injuries as well with the lack of house shows. It's leading to more injuries on the show as well because they're not getting reps in for not working house shows.
Exactly. I was going to bring that up. I was going to say you need that medium. You need the able to.
Now,
well, the guys that aren't on television, you keep them in the house show. They're doing a house show a week or something. There's ways to do it.
That works.
Oh, yeah.
That works. That way you can get someone who hasn't been on TV for like 1 or 2 weeks back on TV as if no one forgot about them.
Right.
That's one way to make it work. That way we can keep cycling people through without having to get them exhausted and risk injury from not having to wrestle months on end and then wrestle on TV and they can get hurt and be out 6 to 9 months.
Actually, no. To go back to something Casey was saying earlier, I remember the first time I ever remember Big Boss Man. It was the video arcade game that was in skate rinks and everything else. It was WWF WrestleFest or
I
think it was
I can't remember which one.
Wasn't it the WrestleMania version? WWF WrestleMania, right?
It was the one that had Hulk Hogan, Warrior, Mr. Perfect, Jake the Snake, the Road Warriors.
It was either. It had to have been WrestleMania.
Boss Man. It was one of them, but he was one of the players that you could use on that video arcade game.
That was the first time
and it was
WrestleMania.
Hold on.
It was after the.
Hold on. Go AJ.
Oh, I was saying it was WWF Super WrestleMania for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
There we go.
Yeah, but I played it on. I guess I played the arcade version, but yeah, he was one of the people that you could play as on that video game.
So I mean, we went derailed again, but
get back on track.
So right here it says he turned babyface after refusing Ted DiBiase bribe for his nightstick, became popular blue-collar lawman character. So I guess
he sided with Hulk Hogan in that feud too. So that also means if you're siding with Hogan in the 80s, you're automatically face.
Oh man. It says right here it made significant money. One check reportedly made more than a full year as a guard. Later,
around
$12,000 a week. So he was
I'm sure,
paid, So, being a guard, prison guard, you're only getting $12,000 a year, apparently. So,
Well, yeah.
Less
this
than
was
that,
back.
actually. Less than that.
This was back in the 80s for government work. You weren't making a now. You have to keep in mind what 80s money was worth
that's
is
true.
like you would have to use a inflation calendar or calculator
Oh, yeah.
to see what the equivalency of that would be. Because just saying
Yep.
12,000 a week now, you couldn't live on that. That's not doable. But you know,
Oh,
12,000 a week now would be about maybe a couple million a week at this point now. Couple hundred
no,
grand.
it might.
Go ahead.
I'm just
y'all
saying,
talk-
I'm just making an assumption.
I'm gonna look at that.
Do you guys
Y'all
think
talk.
he's talking about $1,200 a week? Because that sounds about
12,000
right.
12,000.
I don't know if you're making 12,000 a week being a
in
corrections
the 80s.
officer.
Well,
In the
No,
80s.
No,
No.
what's saying
Even-
right here is that when it became in the WWF, he was getting $12,000.
Oh, in the WWF. Okay. I thought you
He was-
said
which was more
when
than he
he's
made
doing
as a
prison
guard in a
guard
year.
work. Oh,
Prison
okay.
guard work was less than that in a year, and he made more than that in a week. That's what we were saying. I'm just saying, like, 12,000 in a week would be about a couple 100,000 to $1 million, possibly now, with inflation.
Oh,
That's what I'm
for the year.
Let's say
Yes.
you said this was 1988. You said was when this happened.
88, 89, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go 88 because that's the first one I came to.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably like $40,000 today, probably give or take. You know.
And okay,
We'll find out.
oh wait, I put one too many zeros. I put 120,000. Wait a minute. We're off on our math here, boys. Hang on a minute.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll move on and we'll go back. So he was featured on Arsenio Hall, had merchandise including his wrestling buddy and solid mid up to upper card run, including with the Mountie, the jailhouse match, like I said earlier, where the Mountie lost. So,
Okay. So $12,000 in '88 is equivalent to $33,734 in today's money. So that's how much a prison guard would have made then. He got that in. Maybe let's say that was a WrestleMania payoff or some big show or something or whatever. That's what that would have.
yeah.
Well, the 12 grand is what he made in a week of wrestling. That's what he would have made in a week wrestling now. Under that,
Yeah.
in a year,
33 grand.
that's crazy. I thought it would have been more. I thought it would have been a lot more.
Pretty much triple.
That makes sense because I mean, obviously,
That's
inflation. But
that's very low income in some states.
Well, yeah,
Well-
now and it would be now, but back then,
Yeah.
I mean, would it be more lower mid class? Yeah, but
Well, it's not. There's also something else that you have to take into account here that happens today. They still make Big Boss Man merchandise, like in 2026. So I'm sure his family
royalties,
his family may not be getting a huge royalty. They're probably getting a sliver of it, but I would bet they're still getting some kind of payback.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agree.
Oh yeah, they're still getting royalties and stuff. Yeah, so
Especially since he's in the Hall of Fame now.
You know, I'm gonna bring something up real quick to see if we can have. But what the bullet points bring up is they moved to WCW in the mid 1990s for similar money but fewer dates. I mean, that's what WCW is all about. So he could
But
so
the exact date he debuted was November 30th of '93, which would line up with like after the steroid trial, if you think about it, or
Yeah, but
the upcoming steroid trial.
I don't think Bossman was ever accused of being on steroids. Let's be honest.
He
I don't
wasn't.
think that
He probably left for the fewer dates, like what was said in the show. He probably left for the fewer dates. But you also have to remember, this was like late '93 WCW. He was every gimmick under the sun at that point until they got a TV deal for Nitro. At one point, he was called Chubbs. Remember that? Remember when he was called Chubbs in his match with what? I think it was the Shark on Bash at the Beach '96? The bag of dimes on a pole match or something?
No,
And
that
we
was
saw
against
Jimmy-
the Shark.
That's what I said. The Shark.
yeah,
John Tenta.
Well, one of the things that it didn't mention before he left the first round
Mm-hmm.
in WWF, he did have his match with Nails, a nightstick on a pole match in Survivor Series in 1992, and then it also bring up where he went against Mr. Perfect for Mr. Perfect's Intercontinental title match at WrestleMania 7 that ended up being a DQ. So,
So he had lots of. It sounds like he had lots of on the pole matches. He was one of those guys.
I mean, when you have
He had a lot of gimmick matches, if you want to say that. Yes, that involved like money or certain items of the law
Did he ever have to
enforcement
put
side.
his mama on a forklift match? Did he ever have to do that?
Oh Jesus!
I mean,
I don't think he ever saw the. I don't think he ever got to see the Buff Bagwell days. Thank goodness.
Ray Traylor's wife on a forklift match. There you go. That one was a, that was a good
Oh,
one.
dear. Oh, dear.
so it's like, oh gosh, it's like everyone else said that when he was in their WCW run, part 2, saying he was under various names, like the Boss, when he came back and got in trouble for that, and then the Guardian Angel. Apparently, the Guardian Angel, I had no idea. I knew it was loosely tied to like law enforcement, but apparently, what it is like you're a citizen, but you.
It was just it was basically the Guardian Angels. They wore these stupid looking red berets, and they just patrolled New York trying to clean it. It wasn't government associated. It was always it was a civilian patrol group is all it was.
Basically, citizens arrest group, essentially.
It was a bunch of idiots walking around with red berets and whistles, watching crime go down, and they didn't stop anybody.
Well, I mean,
Neighborhood watch with the right for citizens arrest.
Pretty much.
And then
there we go.
They point out where obviously he wouldn't have a weapon, so I mean, how good is this Guardian Angel? But that is so stupid. I mean, the name's not a bad name, but I mean, gimmick.
They probably had this match in WCW. AJ may know it better than me, but they should have had the Guardian Angel versus Renegade. So the fake Big Boss Man versus the fake Ultimate Warrior.
Oh my
that probably
God!
should have went
Speaking
down
of that would have
been
next
great.
week's episode. The Renegades next week.
Oh yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, I just remembered that too.
They're really going to be talking about the Renegade next week. Yes, next Tuesday on Vice.
It's time.
The Renegade.
Vice TV. I know I've said terrible things about you, but if you're talking about Renegade, you're out of good ideas in the show. It's been a good run.
No, I
To be honest, they're all the episodes for this season have been on their YouTube channel as of late. Uploaded in full on YouTube.
I can't wait for Missy Hyatt. Missy Hyatt. That's the one I'm looking for. I want to see her big ass titties.
Is it just going to be a list of all
Twitch?
the guys?
Sorry, we're sorry, Twitch. We're sorry, Twitch.
Is it just going to be a list of all the guys that ran throughout the years? Because there's that's a you can fill up an hour with that.
But and there goes Twitch monetization again.
Well, honestly, having Renegade, at least that would earn the name for Dark Side of the Ring because
because of how he passed from this world.
Exactly. How he unallied himself with his self-deletion.
Oh,
yes.
Twitch, you suck. I can't.
Well, that's YouTube though too. YouTube doesn't like that as well. So
yeah, but YouTube.
Well, at least we'll have something else to look forward to. We have Paul Orndorff on this season as well. Outside of Missy Hyatt, we also have Paul Orndorff.
Oh, by the way,
I wonder if they'll mention that he beat the crap out of Vader wearing flip flops.
Oh my god!
In that episode,
but whoever's watching, we are going to continue. We just got derailed again. I mean, I should steal the name Derailed to be my channel.
Well, let's just be honest here. Big Boss Man's not that very much interesting of a person, so we're having to fill the time here. Otherwise, this review would have been over in 5 minutes. Let's be honest. But
I mean, the most dark thing about his career to make this episode like a thing. They said nothing but good things about him until like they got to his WrestleMania 15 match where his career started to derail. Everything was actually good things to say about the guy up until that Mania 15 match.
Well,
there was nothing else.
I'm curious about that match, Kratos. From you being a Tokyo Black guy, how does that make you feel? With you see the news,
watching it back,
Big Boss,
watching it back,
because
watching it back now, it feels like you didn't have to air this, and I never knew his family was ringside for that show either. Even Vince Russo didn't even know that until this episode aired. He never knew. If he said if he had known his family was there, he wouldn't have signed off on that spot.
Is it really that big of a deal, though? Oh, okay. So you got fake hung from a cage. They obviously saw him after the show. He was obviously fine. Was it that big of a deal, or is somebody being a bit drama?
I think his family was more traumatized that he went through with it at that point.
So
I think that's more. I think that's more the reason why people were upset over it.
So
I don't think it was upset for the viewers at home. I think it was more his family, was his daughter having a tough time explaining that her father's not really.
I'm sure she can get over it with all that money he was making, being a big time, famous pro wrestler. I bet she could get over that real quick.
I doubt she would. As a child, you would want your father home more and more often, and not having to see him in that manner live in person, even though it's a predetermined show.
Okay, but going by that logic, let's say your dad is an actor, right? And in his newest movie, he gets shot and dies. Oh, he's obviously fine. He made it home. So are you really that upset? That seems a bit dramatic to me.
Well, let's remember one thing. A film production takes months, if not years, to finish and edit. A wrestling show happens live on air, usually.
Okay.
If it's not pre-taped.
This is a PSA to all the future wrestlers who have children. 10 minutes before the show. Hey, kids, Dad's going to get hung from a cage. Just telling you ahead of time. Don't freak out. Everything's fine. Problem solved. See how easy that works?
That works. Then that way we would have like a better that way they would be in the know.
I mean,
beforehand.
Let's be real.
At least the family.
Fake hanging somebody in the Attitude Era doesn't even make the top 10 for the worst things that WWE did back then.
Definitely.
They had Stephanie McMahon get drugged and married against her will. Somehow
Mideon
Mark
got
Henry
sacrificed.
Yes, the sacrifices. Mark Henry and an old white lady birthed a hand. I don't know how that happened.
Mae Young, yeah, I remember that.
Many numerous terrible, awful things. Brian Pillman tried to shoot Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is it really that big of a deal? Or is Vice TV trying to be over dramatic because they have no new material and make something out of nothing? I think they may have something.
I agree with the second part. I agree with you on the second part. Yeah. They literally made this whole, in my opinion, this whole episode could have been replaced with something more drastic. Like who remembers the Stardom match from 2010 with like the two wrestlers who
hold on. Let's stay on point.
Stay on point.
Yeah, okay.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to I'm looking on bringing up more stuff from his WCW. I went to the Wikipedia page. So apparently he joined the Dungeon of Doom. He feuded with former Dungeon of Doom member John Tenta.
The Shark.
The Shark.
Yeah,
for that bag of dimes on a pole match that Jimmy Hart got involved in, that people called one YouTuber called him pole dancer Jimmy Hart in the match.
He lost to John Tenta at the Great American Bash and at Bash the Beach too. So he
double pay-per-view losses. Jeez.
So and then that was in '96. So in also in '96, he joined the NW. Well, it says right here, Rogers defect from the Dungeon of Doom to join the NWO.
I think that was when Dungeon of Doom finally faded out as a faction at the time when he joined.
Attacking the faces of fear during against the outsiders. So
was that World War III? World War III 96 or Starrcade 96? I'm curious.
I don't know, but then Rogers' tenure in NWO abruptly ended when he knocked out by an unknown assailant at the start of February 17th, 1997 edition of Nitro. He later explained that Eric Bischoff fired him from the NWO while he was temporarily paralyzed. So
that's no good.
And then it says feud with the NWO between 97 and 98. So he resumed.
Wait, what?
What?
When I don't even remember him being on TV feuding with the NWO in 97 or 98.
Well, that's
and I was channel flipping at the time.
My guess is that probably was on Thunder or something that nobody watched.
Thunder or Saturday Night, maybe.
Well, it says in September 97, he resumed wrestling under his real name, began feuding with the NWO, forming an alliance with the Steiner brothers, who also sought Ted DiBiase as their manager, and the union abruptly ended when Scott Steiner turned on them to join the NWO. And then after the Big Boss Man lost to Goldberg on Nitro, he left WCW the following month. So, he was only there for 2 years, really, from 96 to 98. So, I don't know.
Well, actually, I would say 4 years. 4 or 5 years, almost 5 years. Because he joined in November of 93.
Yeah,
he resigned with them in November of 93. He debuted on a Saturday night on November 30th. I guess tape broadcast. But he lasted until he rejoined WWF in October of 98, right? And the SWAT gimmick. Was that October?
That's when Casey first said he saw him.
He lasted 4 years and almost 11 months in the company. Based on that logic. 4 years and 11 months.
All right. So, yeah, he returns to the WWF. Yeah, he was kind of covered up as his SWAT style. So, I remember that. I was like, I thought it was definitely a good evolution of his character. I mean, I just don't think in the late 90s of him playing as a prison guard would work. So him being a SWAT member I think would done better. So he joined the corporation. So I actually enjoyed when he was when he won the hardcore title, because I think he was one of the people who really made the hardcore title something. Because I mean, after the Big Boss Man and Road Dogg, it became like it became like the 24/7 belt after that. You know, everyone was getting the hardcore belt, even though it was a better version, because at least it was funny when they would do it with the hardcore title. But I thought he was the one who really, I mean, I think if you ever think of, to me, if I think hardcore title, I really think the Big Boss Man, really, because that really fit him perfectly. Like
Hardcore Holly would be the name that come to my mind.
Yeah, that's true too. That's a good point. And same thing with Crash.
Or like who was the karate guy? Blackman?
Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman. That's another one that I remember him fighting against.
I mean, at least that was good, but because it started to come being ridiculous. But I think the Big Boss Man had a really good run as the hardcore title, as the hardcore champion. But and I was like Kratos, I was kind of shocked, or AJ were saying that him not being a multi-time tag team champions, only had it once. I was kind of shocked about that. I was
we still haven't seen Rat Dog this episode either. Did Casey eat
it? Did I eat him?
Did Casey eat it? Did he finally give in and pull a Al Snow and eat Rat
Dog? Well, that's like I said before.
You got to stay tuned in to find out, man. Maybe you keep watching.
Like I said, it is one of my favorite part of his bit, of his run, is when he fed.
Now, can you do that in the new WWE game? Can you like set up a feud where you have to fight somebody because you fed them their dog? Is that in the video games?
No. I'm actually surprised they only had that part of the feud and didn't mention the payoff match. I'm surprised they didn't mention the payoff.
Television. They ought to have a loser eats their own dog match in WWE
Oh my
27 or
God.
whatever. That's what they need. There you go.
Well, Casey, the one thing I'm actually surprised they didn't mention in this episode, but kind of glad they didn't. The kennel from HE Double Hockey Sticks.
You can say that. Yeah, the Kennel from Hell match. It's funny you said that because I just clicked down to that. Like, I agreed. I believe this was a Vince Russo idea. It was the Kennel from Hell match. So what it is, they took the Hell in the Cell and they put the normal cage in the middle, inside of it, and then between the Hell in the Cell and the steel cage, you had guard dogs. But instead of the guard dogs really doing their jobs, the guard dogs didn't do anything except pretty much pissing and shitting everywhere, and they were saying it was fornicating everywhere though too. So it was like, the dogs didn't care what was going on. So
their problem was they had puppies. They had puppy like Rottweilers for this match. Should have full grown Rottweilers or pit bulls watching the cage. That would have helped.
Well, one thing I remember watching a shoot interview with Al Snow. So he talked to Vince Russo about this before this match happened, and Al Snow was like, we need to actually have professionally trained dogs. And so he's like, oh yeah, bro, I'll get that done. And they showed up and they only had one professional trained dog and a bunch of other people, owners, with normal Rottweilers. I know I butchered that, but with guard dogs, and they just, it just didn't work out. So obviously, that's a black eye for the WWF, and that's why we never seen.
Okay, what's worse, a big boss man match with dogs taking a dump all over the floor, or Stephanie McMahon getting almost fake sacrificed and defiled in the ring? Which one's worse? Or
which one's political more wrong, or
no? Just which one's worse?
Completely wrong in general.
Both of them were just bad gimmicks. Both of them were bad gimmicks. Is my point. Which of them do you think was worse?
I preferred the Stephanie McMahon gimmick than, because at least that worked.
Well,
to me, I
look at it. Okay, think about it in the long aspect. Yeah, dogs taking a dump in the ring is one thing, but okay, there's a reason why, like in a show where you come back, you can't say I'm going to kill you, because you can't fulfill that unless they never actually come back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to sacrifice somebody, but they're back next week, obviously everything's fine, there's no tension. It just seems like a bad way to book something, you know, right?
That was the Vince Russo era at that time.
You're not saying bro nearly enough to be talking about Vince Russo. You need to. We're going to need to up those bros. These are rookie numbers here. We're going to need to up those numbers.
Well, to me, the other favorite is obviously when you had Big Boss Man invaded the graveyard while the Big Show was having his funeral of his dad, and the Big Boss Man shows up and the Blues Brothers mobile.
Police car.
Yeah, the police. Well, it's the Blues Brothers car because it had the giant speaker.
Yeah.
So it was damn near the vehicle. They even say it's the Blues Brothers vehicle.
I don't know. I still go back to the NWA days where Dusty takes a chair over his head. If I had to go to one clip, that should be the one I go to.
See, to me, it was kind of funny because I mean, they were saying how, like, I believe they were doing this whole thing while you had other people visiting this graveyard, and you see this giant you had this police car with a giant speaker coming through the graveyard. Like, I mean, that would suck if they were having an actual funeral at the time, but they were tearing up the graveyard with Paul White on his dad's casket while he's was it casket serving on it. You know, he was on surfing on the casket. That's what I meant.
Bro.
But to me, I think that's one of the funniest parts. But and it was not shortly after that he pretty much disappeared. I mean,
Well, to be fair, if he showed up in what 88 or whatever to make it all the way to the early 2000s, that's bigger of a run than most people get. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. True.
I mean, that whole feud with Big Show or Giant led to a WWF title match that lasted 3 minutes at what, Armageddon '99?
Mm-hmm.
That match was actually very short.
I'm trying to remember. AJ might remember, but he fought somebody at NWO Sold Out, that terrible first one where they like rode in on dump trucks and all that. Who did he fight on?
Let me check it out.
And like that was an awful pay-per-view. I remember buying that. I'm like, this is terrible. Like, it was absolutely awful. Like, who thought riding on dump
NWO
trucks
Sold Out '97?
It was the first one, yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, NWO Sold Out '97.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Well,
it was Hugh Morris.
That's who it was, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just looking up.
It was a Mexican death match.
Yeah, a Mexican death match with two fat white guys. There you go. That works out. That checks.
Well, let's see. Oh yeah, I remembered that Bull Buchanan became like his sidekick in the 2000s. I remember that now because before it became B Square with John Cena, he was with the Big Boss Man as like a second swap member. So I totally forgot about that. But like Bull Buchanan wasn't really a thing, honestly. But let's see. Yeah, The Godfather. Well, oh no. I was just trying to look about in the summer of 2000, the Big Boss Man disappeared from WWF primary TV, wrestled mainly on Jax and Heat. Had a minor feud with Crash Holly until he suffered a legit injury in April 2001. Keep him out of the invasion story. He returned back in SmackDown December 2001. He was really going working behind Jax and Metal and Heat. So if you wasn't watching Jack, Metal, or Sunday Night Heat, you weren't seeing the Big Boss Man after a while. But he was assigned to train wrestlers in OVW, and he was released in 2003 after his contract expired, thus ending his second and final tenure with the company after 6 years. And then he had one run in Japan before he passed. So
there you go.
hold on, he competed for the vacant IWA World Heavyweight Championship, but he lost to Jim Duggan in the final in 2004. He lost to Jim Duggan in 04. Oh my god!
Lost to a guy with a nightstick lost to a guy with a 2x4. Huh?
Yeah,
2x4 with an American flag. Ho!
So yeah, like I agree. This way, like, did I think that deserved the Dark Side of the Ring title?
Seems like it. No, it doesn't deserve it. This podcast it's more of a career retrospective, not like when the only episodes I've ever watched fully of Dark Side of the Ring were when they covered the Von Erichs for good reason, because they all took care of themselves for the most part, and tragedy happened. That deserves a Dark Side of the Ring, not, oh, well, the guy wrestled off and on for 20 some odd years, had a drug problem, and died. I'm sorry, but that doesn't constitute a Dark Side of the Ring. That's we've got so many episodes to fill. What can we put in here? And if your next episode is Renegade, you've dug through the bottom of the well. Like, you're on your way to China. So
honestly, I can't wait for Renegade. So, like, I think that'd be interesting because they really messed him up in WCW. Because
he's a former male stripper turned pro wrestler. Well, how many times have we seen that?
No. What screwed up him was Ultimate Warrior finally coming. They didn't need the fake Ultimate Warrior anymore. That's what ruined that for him. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he was in there. They put the jetpack on him, and they were like, "Oh, well, we got the real Ultimate Warrior now, so we can drop you down to." He starting to dress up like the male strip dancer again. So
to be honest, go ahead, finish.
No, just like they really screwed up with that guy. I think it deserved the Dark Side of the Ring, but as like even me and AJ, I'm like when we were reviewing the previous episodes, like it didn't deserve the Dark Side of the Ring name. It was a good to me. It was a good documentary, but didn't deserve the Dark Side of the Ring title because both guys are still alive, and
true.
Smo Joe's doing great right now, and Necro Butcher is still alive and kicking. I mean, he only died from cancer.
And that's my whole point is...
I think it only got Dark Side of the Ring treatment because it was a gruesome match. That's what I believe.
A gruesome match might deserve it, but Big Boss Man does not deserve it. That's my whole point. Is I don't know.
That's what I'm saying too. I agree with you.
Titles of the episodes for what we have. After this, we have the Renegade, we have Paul Orndorff, we have Missy Hyatt, and then the season finale is Zach Gowen. The one-legged wonder in WWE.
I think the last one deserves it. Zach Gowen does deserve it. To be honest, he was treated like with the prosthetic leg. He was treated like complete garbage in his entire contract run with WWE. And then he gets brought back in a mini feud with Ricochet and AEW for one match to lose to Ricochet.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me ask you. Do you actually think Zach Gowen was gonna beat Ricochet when Ricochet's
He hasn't wrestled in like what, 20-something years or so? No.
Yes. Still,
he was an inspirational speaker.
He wrestles he does actually in the indie scenes. He wrestles.
I don't know. He could have took out fake.
He's from Michigan.
Get the match
he does
going.
a lot of indies here.
Get the match going right. He's standing there in his corner or whatever. As Ricochet's running over to him, he takes that fake metal leg off, whacks him in the head with the steel leg part, and pins him 1, 2, 3. He could technically win, but there's going to have to be a foreign object to be used here. Well, technically, if it's your leg, is that considered a foreign object? I'm not sure about that.
I was going to bring that up. Like, I feel like, I mean, you know how everyone says when I point stuff out, like when they go to like the steel steps, and they're like, "Oh, that's part of the ring." Like,
or like Hulk Hogan would wear the weight belt and he would whip somebody with it or something. Yeah. Technically, he got away with it because he wore it to the ring. So I guess by that metric, a fake leg would not be a foreign object. So maybe he could get away with it.
I'll be okay with. That's what I was saying. I was like, I'm more okay with that than having, like I said, where I have a problem when the wrestlers go out and they tack them with the steps. Or
now here's the question though. You know how they will pat the wrestler down before like a match gets going? Do you pat down the fake leg to check for foreign objects?
Well, yeah, honestly, I mean,
I would
be like, "Hey, what's this taser doing to duct tape to your fake leg? That's not supposed to be there." Do you then argue that no, it has to be there? It's part of the device or something. Maybe you can do that. I don't know.
Well,
maybe
like slip out like a rod or something, a steel rod.
Right. Some brass knuckles. Some brass knuckles is like tucked into the top of the fake leg or something, you know. There's ways of getting around it. So.
Yeah, but in all fairness, this personally, I'm with Tex on this. This wasn't really a true Dark Side of the Ring episode until after his career was over.
Doesn't seem like it.
I'm saying it wasn't a real Dark Side of the Ring episode until his career in ring was done. It wasn't really a true Dark Side of the Ring episode. Because all the bad crap happened after he retired.
Well, he was having the pill problem. And, you know, honestly, at that time, I mean, in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, even all the way into the mid 2010s, you could easily go to a doctor, say, "Hey, I have a pain problem." Oh, they'll give you a pain pill. Like, dude, I used to go to my doctor when I'm dealing with aches and pains, especially my back. And my doctor would say, "Hey, do you want Vicodin?" I was like, "No, I don't want something that strong. I just want something that would help."
I got some stuff that'll make you talk to Elvis in about 30 minutes after you take it. I got some good stuff. So.
You know what would make a great Dark Side of the Ring opener? You know what I believe would make a great Dark Side of the Ring opener for season 8?
What?
Talk about Scott Hall. Scott Hall. Scott Hall would make a great season opener for season 8. 3 or 4 episodes at max for just Scott Hall in his career.
They really didn't do one on Scott Hall, did they?
They never did. They did Brian Pillman and they did Chris Benoit and Brian Pillman for 2-part episodes.
Oh,
they did.
Have they ever done a WCW show?
No. They actually did a 4-part series called Who Killed WCW, but that was only spanned from 97. That only spanned 4 episodes from 97, 98, Bash at the Beach 2000, and the final episode of Nitro. That was it. That was all they covered. 4 episodes.
Well, that's all. I mean, if you're going to cover how WCW ended, that's all you really need to cover, to be honest. I mean,
I agree.
Blame Jamie Kellner because fuck that guy, but whatever.
Well,
now, apparently they had like unknown footage from the day they were bought out by WWF leading into that last Nitro. Like the last 24 hours before that show was in the 4th episode. Unrevealed footage until then when they aired that episode.
They should do an episode of all the crappy gimmicks of Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That'd be a good episode.
Oh, they did. They did like an episode on him already. A couple years ago.
Zodiac, the Booty Man. He was the disciple.
Like I said, they did an episode on him already. They mentioned the water ski incident in the episode he was in, allegedly.
What about Macho Man? They should do a Dark Side of the Ring for Macho Man.
Him and Miss Elizabeth for the very first episode. Him and Miss Elizabeth for the very first episode.
I don't watch this shit all the time.
Well, there you go.
I'm just saying.
I don't know what the only one I know that they've covered were the Von Erichs because that's literally my lineage where I'm from, but I don't know what all they have and haven't covered. But
I know they did not do one on Scott Hall. That's a given. Scott Hall needs an episode.
They could do like a 3-hour special of Misty Hyatt just describing all of her sexual encounters, and that'd be riveting television. That'd be fun.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, they could do one on Sunny. Get Sunny. Is Sunny in prison or not?
She is. They did one on her and Chris Candido.
Well, no. Just do a jailhouse interview with Sunny about her porno, where she farted in the porno. They could do one on that one.
Jesus.
Well,
bye, Twitch. Sorry.
What? I said nothing. This is the most PG I'm willing to get. I'm going lower here. This is
true.
Believe me, I've got the filter is backed up of all the fun words I can throw in here. That I'm gonna have to say some terrible stuff after I get offline. That's gonna shock some people. But
I really want to see a Scott Hall. I really would prefer to see a Scott Hall like episode personally. I want to see what stuff they can dig up on Scott Hall and his personal demons in the 80s and 90s.
Vice wants me to cover their show. They can cover the Sunny porno, and I'll watch. Anything short of that, I'm out. That's my line. By God.
Go ahead, Casey.
One of the obvious ones they had to do was Chris Benoit. Like that was like the number one obvious thing they had to do because that was one of the most horrific things that ever happened in wrestling. Like
I was actually surprised they even covered Brian Pillman the next season opener. I mean, because both Benoit and Brian Pillman were 2-part season premieres.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually shocked they even did Brian Pillman at the time.
Okay, here's a bigger question.
Go ahead.
Obviously, they're not covering stories that most wrestling fans already know, right? So, how long do y'all think this show goes? Does it seem kind of played out? Because now taking them out, Vice TV is not a channel that everybody has. So I don't know what they're viewing.
Which is probably why they're uploading the videos. It's probably why they're uploading the video episodes in full on YouTube without commercials.
But I would argue that 99% of people that are going to watch this already know this information.
See, honestly, I feel it's more for the casual fan, honestly. Like, even though the hardcore people would watch it, I think they're kind of focusing on the casual fan that, like, there's some episodes that I like, who the hell is this person? And I watch it, it's like, oh, that was pretty good. Because, I like documentaries or something like that, But like,
what's one they'll never cover? One episode I can never see them doing. Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant and that whole shit show that just ended earlier this week.
That's not going to be talked about because they're going through arbitration, which means
arbitration is over. They already closed the case.
Well, what I'm saying is they're going through proceedings to where gag orders will be placed and you won't be allowed to talk about this or you get thrown back in court. That's never going to happen. So.
Yeah, that's why I said I know they won't talk about it. As much as I want them to talk about it, they won't.
Well, obviously, Janelle Grant won't talk about it, and obviously Vince McMahon won't talk about it, but other people can. I'm like, those, honestly, the two.
Okay, but it's just, I don't know. It seems like this is, I mean, the show's not like, it doesn't seem like it's a very expensive show to make. I mean, it's a bunch of old wrestlers talking about stuff, and then they'll recreate one or two things, whatever. But I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like it's a pro. I mean, Casey argues that they're going for a casual audience. I disagree. I don't think there's much of a casual audience for this show. I think this is for people like Casey who already know this stuff, who just like to talk about it again or whatever. I don't know.
Personally, if they were going for a casual audience, they wouldn't have done an FMW episode. I'm just saying. If they were going for a casual audience, they probably would have never covered FMW because that's a Japanese promotion.
True, but the reason I say that is like if you watch a lot of these episodes, there's a lot of those that you're like, well, I know all this. But like but a lot of times, I don't know, it's good to hear from other wrestlers when they get a bunch of them together and doing an interview. But I still think I would say I think I mean, obviously a lot of the hardcore people are gonna watch it, but I mean, honestly, the only people who's gonna come out learning more about this is the casual fan because they're not gonna know all this stuff. I mean, we've been watching wrestling. I mean, me, Tex, and AJ, and I mean, and Kratos.
It's me to an extent, yeah.
For 20,
I got back into wrestling 14 years ago, but at this point, like I've been watching wrestling on and off for about 18 years. If you include like 18, 19 years, if you include the time I stopped watching after Over the Edge 99.
If you want to go by decades alone, AJ and I both have been watching for 5 decades. We started in the 80s and we watched some now. That's 5 fucking decades. That's I mean, now we're not that
37
old.
37 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's something
close to 4 decades. Yeah.
I mean, so a lot of the stuff is that we heard over the years. So a lot of the stuff, I mean, it's going to be hard to really like. Oh, I didn't know.
Well,
that.
And this is the problem with wrestling has now is the new stuff is so boring or sucks to the point where nobody cares. And there's only so many times that you can talk about the old stuff in an entertaining way until people go, oh, yeah, I know of that already. And they move on to something else. That's when you lose viewership. Where somebody like myself, literally the only wrestling I watch these days is the WCW YouTube channel and whatever Danhausen is doing because I follow him on social media. That's all I care about anymore. So,
damn.
I always I look forward to Dark Side of the Ring coming out because, I mean, I'm hoping for a good lineup and something that, that they kind of give us a little twist. Like, I mean, I was happy when I was hearing that, they're going to do a Dark Side of the Ring of TNA. And I really thought that we're going to see a bunch of dirt coming out. Or, I mean, some dirt on national TV about all the crazy crap that TNA did during the Dixie Carter era. But they really didn't do that. It was pretty much, it's like me and AJ were saying, that it was the career of Jeff Jarrett, the rise, the fall, and the redemption story with
listen up, Slapnuts.
With the sprinkle of TNA in it. But like, I would love to have a whole season of TNA Dark Side of the Ring because there's so much dirt against the Dixie Carter era.
Well, but here's the problem, though. is, and this is what Dark Side of the Ring is up against. Eric Bischoff's got a podcast. Tony Schiavone, Jim Cornette, everybody and their dog who's ever been in a squared circle does a wrestling podcast, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
they all talk about the same events from a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on who you're listening to, some of them, now you have to keep in mind, they're all carnies, so they're probably all lying to an extent. But
Yeah.
it's much easier for one of those wrestling podcasts to do 3 hours. Like if you want to talk about one of my favorite wrestling podcasts I've ever listened to was Eric Bischoff's Starrcade 97 episode years ago.
I heard.
Whenever
I listened to that too.
And him and Conrad are screaming at each other by the end of it. Because Conrad is like, so you basically gave Sting the title, took it away from him a week later because he didn't have a tan, and Eric Bischoff couldn't say anything. It's much easier for a wrestling podcast to do that with no production than Dark Side of the Ring to do a 60-minute version for a lot more expensive on TV. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? Sting actually did a video where he was tanning on a poolside literally early last week and said, working on my Starrcade 97 tan. I'm like, oh shit.
AJ sent me that. That was that.
I was
ALS
laughing
video,
so fucking hard.
That was that
I was laughing so hard.
That was that stupid ice bucket nonsense challenge that somehow made its way back to us. I thought that was over, but
Yeah.
One of the All Elite Wrestling members of the roster has ALS, to be honest. Rebel has ALS.
Okay. I mean, that's understandable.
okay. And I hope the best for her. But what does me dunking ice water over me have to do? How is that going to help you? Please,
It doesn't. It's just a way to spread awareness and donate.
Exactly.
But the ice bucket stuff, even back then in 2015, was pointless. Just donate instead of doing some of the bucket of ice over your body. Just donate to the research.
Well, it's exactly what you said before. It's awareness of the disease, or the illness.
So what are you going to do? Like, well, it's men testicular cancer. Hit yourself in the nuts to remind you that men have testicular cancer. That's the one I want to see get started. Casey, go ahead and start.
Well, they had two members of the AEW roster do ice bucket challenge stuff on Collision earlier tonight. There's your spoiler for Collision. They had people dump buckets of ice in the middle of the ring over their heads.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? Why?
Yes.
I'm not going to spoil who else was on the show. AJ would be proud who opened up the show when he sees them.
I already know because it happened on Dynamite.
No, it happened tonight.
Collision actually aired tonight. It was live.
Yeah, but it's the same people because they were on AEW Dynamite last night.
But
yeah, I did not watch.
But like I was saying, I actually enjoyed the series. But I always happy to see if it's. I can't wait to see what is the next lineup. And usually I'm not disappointed, but to me, I always enjoy them. I mean, there's some episodes better than others. Yes.
So what's a topic, Casey, that you would like to see that has not been covered yet? What do you think is dark side worthy? Like, if you could have one, it hasn't been done yet. What topic do you want to see them do?
Actually, that's great question. For a second I was having a hard time, but then I just thought about this. When Stone Cold quit the WWF and his problems that ventured afterwards were
that was on WWE biography, I thought, on A&E, right?
I don't know.
Wasn't that mentioned in that episode?
Wait.
Yeah,
hang on. Are you telling me that wrestling documentaries aren't a new thing? That WWE already probably has a DVD about this that came out 10 years ago. Are you telling me that Dark Side of the Ring is copying people? I don't believe you.
No.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm
talk.
just
Well,
saying-
A&E
No,
covered
Hold
this
on,
story
hold
at one point. Go ahead, Casey.
Let me finish.
Go ahead,
what I was
Casey.
about to say.
Go ahead.
But it's not just him quitting the WWF. It's the whole thing afterwards where he, his whole marriage with Deborah was kind of that whole thing, the
Where he allegedly hit her 3 times?
well, yeah, and not only that,
She shouldn't
that-
talk back. She got to learn her place. By God, how else is a woman going to learn? You got to get them in shape every once in a while.
that's what
Oh,
I'm
dear.
saying. I think that's the one that it would be a big bombshell if they would do it
Mhm.
because you got one of the biggest names of all time being targeted right there. But another one, maybe the guy died last year, but maybe the many lies of Hulk Hogan.
Ah,
Wouldn't that be interesting?
That's possible. That's
there you
possible.
go.
See what else? See what else they don't cover from the Hulk Hogan documentary. We could see that. But you also have to remember, whoever did the documentary with Hulk Hogan were the same producers who did The Last Dance with the Chicago Bulls.
Well, I'm going to need a 3-episode arc on the difference of penis size between Terry Bollea and Hulk Hogan. I'm going to need a
Oh,
3-episode
Jesus.
breakdown. No, I'm serious.
Personally-
If we're going to do Dark Side of the Ring, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty here, and I want to see evidence that Terry Bollea has a smaller wang than Hulk Hogan does. Otherwise, I don't
No.
believe it, So,
To be honest, I want to see Scott. I want to see an episode on Scott Hall, episode trilogy to speak of Scott Hall, because there's so much you can get out of with Scott Hall. So many people you could interview for that guy. Sting, Eric Bischoff, Kevin Nash, maybe Shawn Michaels.
No.
Maybe Sean Waltman. Who knows?
oh no!
I got
Oh,
2 of them.
What you
Shawn
got?
Michaels, hold on. Shawn Michaels won't do it because he signed with the WWE, so he won't do it.
Oh yeah.
True. What about Sean Waltman? Do you think that would work? If he would do it? He's not, as far as I know, not under a Legends contract.
He might.
I see why
but-
Shawn Michaels wouldn't do it, because he's an on-screen, he's on screen with NXT sometimes.
Yeah.
And also the head booker.
All right. What about
But
you,
still.
AJ?
What about the Katie Vick angle or the Muhammad Hassan segment in 2005 where they aired the controversial angle with the masked man attacking the Undertaker using a terroristic method on the exact same day as the London bombings?
They
They
did
already-
that. They did that too. That one at
Then
least. They
this
did that
thing's
one as
cooked.
well.
Then it's cooked. Then they just need to stop.
Well, hold
This
on.
this series is cooked.
Well, they didn't do the Katie Vick thing, but how much could they really do about that, though? Honestly, I mean,
They could cover the car accident mostly. For the main part, they could cover the car accident. Then the lead up to the angle with Triple H and the casket.
What about China?
But that's about all they could do.
yeah, they didn't really do one on China, but they did a documentary on China on Vice, but they didn't do
Wasn't that her autopsy?
that. I don't know, but
I know they did an autopsy episode on China.
they did a
Celebrity autopsy.
no. But they
Yeah, I watched that
had-
episode.
They had it on Vice on China, but they didn't do a Dark Side of the Ring on China. That would be interesting, especially. I mean, that deserves Dark Side of the Ring right there because that was pretty.
You know what's one that also deserves one? Ravishing Rick Rude. Ravishing Rick Rude. If they haven't done it yet,
No, they hadn't. But I mean,
those will be my two. Scott Hall and Rick Rude.
I mean, I'm not gonna say. Honestly, I think Scott Hall is a perfect one, but Rick Rude, minus he got injured, that got him forced him to retire, and knowing that he I wouldn't doubt he had drug or alcohol problems, but and then him dying early. Like, is there really?
What about Chris Canyon?
They did him too.
Yeah,
like they did him too.
Oh,
they're running out of material. Yeah,
I'm sure they've probably done this one, but Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
Yes. Second episode, I believe. Second or third.
Okay.
Now, here's one they could do.
I'm in agreement with AJ. I think they need to tap them out. I think they've. If, like I said, if you're going with Renegade, you're out of material. But
here's one they could do. I got one. How about this one?
Okay.
An episode on Bobby the Brain Heenan. All the crap he went through.
Do you really want
WWF
the gorilla
and WCW?
I mean, I kind of see that. I mean, God, the last few years. I mean, God, it was almost 5+ years when he had. Was it throat cancer or jaw cancer?
I think it was throat cancer.
But
because people thought he actually had an active Twitter account until his wife came out and said, "That's not my husband. My husband doesn't use Twitter." Apparently,
if they do Bobby the Brain Heenan, they have to have this segment of him holding the gorilla, saying the Coco Beware doll.
Oh God.
Oh.
But I mean, Bobby lost his bottom jaw. That's why it kind of looked like Ghostface at the last end.
Really?
I mean, dude,
really?
It's pretty obvious he didn't have no lower jaw.
I didn't know. I didn't see. I didn't know at the time he was in his 90s. By the time he passed, I never knew. I hadn't seen him in much of anything after WCW folded.
No, yeah, he pretty much like he did that one show with the WWF at WrestleMania X7. And I think he did some things here and there, but he was mainly like, I think he did a stint in TNA for a second.
Yeah.
But
I'm just.
What about Dark Side of the Ring presents the rise and fall of ECW in their version, not WWE's version, the ECW version.
That could work. That could work.
That one, actually, talk about that. What about Paul Heyman and all the dirty?
Paul Heyman will not do it. He's signed to WWE. He will not do one.
Oh no, you don't need to have him there, but like the dirt.
Have like podcast voiceover interviews that he's done over the years in the episode.
No, as all the dirty things they did as under the ECW. Like all the people who he screwed out of money, and then
the Jewy,
or the kimono situation.
Yeah, but you're pretty much thinking up a billion things trying. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We probably are on the latter stages of this series.
Yeah.
So, granted, like,
I think
minus having the Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant Dark Side of the Ring, and like saying we'll never get those guys' story. I mean, that's probably the biggest one in their target, but they're never gonna get those two guys to talk. And
you know what's one they would never do either? What's one they would never do ever?
Say it.
An episode on what's his name? I know they did an episode on Jake Roberts' entire family in wrestling.
Yeah.
But and they did the Von Erichs. What about everything that like? What about an episode on all the Freebirds?
Nah.
Like all the
Honestly,
crap they went through.
I think we're now stretching. I think we're trying to.
At that point, we're stretching. We're grasping at
Hey.
straws for episodes. By that
Yeah.
point,
Hey, can y'all hear this? Can you hear that?
yeah.
That's them tapping the bottom of that well and it run dry, boys.
Jeez. But yeah, I think like the stuff we mentioned would make for a decent season, but not enough to find something that no one knew or knows currently about like certain people.
How about they do a Dark Side of the Ring when every wrestler has a podcast and completely expose the business?
That's just Jim
Dark Side
Cornette
of the
on a,
Ring.
that's just Jim
They could
Cornette.
start with like
That's just
that would actually be kind of interesting if they were to map out who was the first wrestler to spill the beans and do a podcast and how it went from there. That would be interesting to see.
to be honest, they can just have a full episode on Jim Cornette talking about what killed the business, who thrived in the business, because he's in just about every episode.
Oh, I know this would never happen, but get Jim Cornette and Vince Russo in the same room.
Jim Cornette already said he would strangle him if he ever met him in person again. He
Well,
said
that's
that in
fine.
one
I mean,
episode.
whatever happens. I'd just like to see it go down.
I think that would be perfect. I think that's the one just below the Vince McMahon Janelle Grant, and they
Vince Russo and Jim Cornette in a sit down like episode. Make it 4 parts at this point. Let's hear either person's side of the story for each one.
With what I mean, oh yeah, no, this would not be one episode. This would be multiple.
I said
But,
4 episodes, 4 parts.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that would spark my interest. That I'd be down for.
I mean, Vince Russo
I got a
said he would be
question.
down
What
to
about
talking to
David
Jim
Arquette?
Cornette.
That'd be cool. I'd
He
be down for
was
that.
mentioned in one episode.
Oh well,
I think-
have you seen his documentary that came out not too long ago?
Yeah, I seen it.
Which one?
Yeah, David Arquette did he did a
Yeah.
documentary of himself. He did one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I seen that one.
Yeah.
I did not.
Where
Yeah.
he was gonna go back to wrestling. I seen that.
Yeah.
And then had
This
that
is
death
like-
match.
He filmed it I want to say it was right after Scream 5 is when he did that documentary. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was around the time he had that death match, and he almost sued the wrestler and the promotion over the spot with the glass through his forehead.
Well, that was during that time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I think that was. If I'm thinking of the right documentary, that was around that time of that match, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I've never
But-
seen the documentary.
But there's one that just popped to me since you were brought up Vince Russo and Jim Cornette. What about if they'll never do that one? What about just one on Vince Russo himself? I mean, that would have been a big one right there. Like, I mean, people would.
Okay,
back
which angle? Which angle are you going to come at? Are you going to be exposing Vince Russo, or are you going to be more pro Vince Russo? Because that's two different documentaries.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah, and yeah. I mean,
Because
We could
if
do
you
an entire
have-
episode. We could do one that's pro Vince Russo and one that exposes the contradictions of some things that Vince
Right.
Russo said after
Right.
the pro
Like-
Vince Russo episode.
maybe
The first,
hold on. Maybe you had the first one. It's all the accusations or whatever against him, and then you have the other one where he tries to defend himself in episode 2. What about that?
That could work. That
that'd be
could work.
interesting. I'd watch that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but
But-
they have to have
Go ahead.
they have to have a bro counter on the screen to see how many bros.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Brittany.
hold on.
Cry,
Hold on,
Minnie.
They cannot do that because I own the copyrights to the Bro calendar. Since
well, okay, then if we can't do that, then we'll make it a drinking game. Like we'll all watch it together. Right?
No, I said
And every time the word bro is uttered, we all have to take a shot, and then we all get alcohol poisoning 5 minutes in.
Not bad. I got a better one. The pipe bomb.
CM Punk's pipe bomb?
Yeah.
I've always thought that was fake. I don't think
it's a work. I think that's a work shoot, but at the same time, his contract really was ending that night. In reality standards, his contract really was going to end that night.
I've always thought that was as fake as when Bret Hart wrote WCW and up there in Canada or whatever. I still think all that's fake.
To be honest, I think it was a work shoot because there's no way you would clear that and have it be full shoot. No way. He just sits there in the middle of the stage and just bashes the entirety of ownership and management.
To AJ's point, it would make an interesting episode because the angle you take is, was it real or was it
worked?
Worked. Yeah, I mean, that's the angle you take for that episode, but yeah, you don't let him sit there for 10 minutes and ramble on without somebody going to commercial or whatever.
Or immediately cutting to commercial when he mentions that the company would be better off if Vince McMahon was dead. That would have been immediate cut to commercial.
Well, I mean, at this point, they're straight from the bottom of the barrel. You can't pick anything better. I mean, honestly.
I'm just saying, like, if they were to if they cut the commercial over Brian Pillman having a gun on camera, they would have cut the commercial on that as well.
They can do an episode on Mick Foley and why is he such a liberal pussy. They can make one of those.
They did sort of did that, but they did it under the guise of the Hell in a Cell King of the Ring match.
Dark Side of the Ring presents Mick Foley, Orange Man Bad. That's the episode right there.
Oh dear. There you go. Well,
I got
monetization. Come on back.
In the scissors with Psycho Sid.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Where like initially Psycho Sid came to fight him with a squeegee or something, and then it came back with the scissors, and that led to that situation in November. The Blackpool incident.
He stabbed Arn Anderson in a hotel with scissors, right?
Yeah, he stabbed him with scissors after he first came after him with a squeegee stick, like a squeegee mop. Then he switched to scissors.
I don't remember that.
Because Arn laughed at him over the squeegee. I found that out late. I found that out recently, a couple years ago. He initially had a squeegee mop, and then Arn Anderson laughed at him. He went back to his hotel room, found a pair of scissors, and that led to Two Cold. You can interview Two Cold Scorpio for that one. He was involved in it because he got hospitalized.
No.
He was involved in it. He got unintentionally stabbed.
All of the racist gimmicks from WWF times. That could be a fun episode. You have like Slick Johnson and all Akeem the African Dream. Just bring out the most racist nonsense characters that Vince McMahon ever created. That would be hilarious.
we could go like or we could find how many black wrestlers actually was called the N-word by Ric Flair allegedly. We could get Teddy Long to do an entire hour for that one.
Oh God!
There you go. I'll be down for that.
Well,
I still stand by my statement. There is nothing else that this show can. I mean, Renegade might be interesting because just from the last time you saw him on WCW television of Jimmy Hart tearing him apart. That's really the most interesting thing about the angle. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think their greener pastures are behind them, if I had to guess.
I got one last one.
Go ahead.
About the Sandman's crucifixion live on TNN?
They kind of
They did that too because they covered like Sandman's entire life story on an episode.
Oh, or
They kind of mentioned that at one point.
well, if they lost their shit over Boss Man being fake hung, they must have had a coronary over a crucifixion. My God, I mean, were they clutching their pearls when this happened? Dear Lord. Yeah.
I mean, personally, we could come up with a good chunk of episodes for season 8, but by that point, it would have to end after season 8.
Wait, wasn't there?
There's nothing else that's interesting.
What in TNA didn't AJ Styles get somebody knocked up or something?
Allegedly.
That was a storyline. That was per storyline, I think, allegedly.
Actually,
There you
it was the whole thing was. It first started with AJ Styles and was having an affair with Dixie Carter, but according to Bruce Pritchard, he was saying that the Carters went to their country club, and they're like saying people were asking, "What was this I'm hearing about your daughter having an affair with this AJ Styles?" And like,
yeah, if you believe that, I've got a bridge to tell you. Now that sounds like some working made up nonsense.
Bro, I mean,
if you honestly believe that to be true, I got a freaking
you really think
747 airline to sell you.
I mean, hold on. So did she just get cold feet after? Because it was honestly that's where they were heading, and then they were like, "Oh, it's this woman over here, Claire Lynch." Like that just came out of nowhere, you know?
You really think
why do I feel like they
people? Go ahead.
Why do I feel like they actually tried to repeat this angle from WWE and it carried over from TNA when they tried to do the whole thing with Daniel Bryan being unfaithful to Brie Bella and it fell flat on its face? Didn't they do a copy and paste of this to begin with at that point? And Brie Bella's battle against Stephanie in the lead up to it? Didn't they kind of make note of it at one point with that whole angle?
I vaguely recall that.
That was in the lead up to SummerSlam 2014, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, that's 12 years ago. And
that's my point.
Yeah, well, a lot of that shit was just was god awful then, though. Too.
But when was this Dixie Carter AJ Styles gimmick? Story? Because I seriously think they copied and pasted that entire angle for that segment on TV.
I don't know, but
either way, both sucked.
Oh, they can do an episode, do a full episode about the midget jacking off in the trash can. Do one on him.
Him? The one that brought a gun into TNA and got cracked upside the head by Jeff Jarrett?
They could do an episode about hot lesbian action.
You know,
do one on that one too.
You know, guys, it was nice being on Twitch, but I don't.
What? I'm just bringing up. If WWE can put this on television, we can talk about it on the internet.
Oh, that was.
We're not saying anything bad, so we're fine.
We could talk about the two offensive female factions in WWE: the lesbians and PMS.
Hey, Dex, see, he's still alive. I told you he's still alive.
Hang on. I
no, the two factions.
I have to clarify this isn't a CGI word.
He's still alive right here. So I didn't.
All right. Well,
there we go. I don't
know. He's not moving a lot, but then again, it is Rat Dog. So.
He's moving his head a bit. I see him moving his head.
I haven't heard a bark or a ruff yet. No, okay, mouth. Okay, his mouth is moving.
Mouth's moving on his own. He's fine.
Oh, okay, we're fine. I guess
no fingers controlling the mouth. He's good.
I guess I won't have to call the ASPCA just yet, but very well. So,
but anyways,
either way,
if they did an episode,
hold on.
Go ahead.
If they did an episode on either PMS, all the freaking like female offensive factions they did over the years, PMS, the lesbians. They can do an entire episode. They can do an episode on the Divas era as a whole, from the Ruthless Aggression era.
I think
They can do that.
I think we're now trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
Oh,
so.
they can
We're
have
throwing tacks.
the hand that burst from Mark Henry and what's-her-face. He can do
Mae
a
Young.
60-minute tell-all. That can be a whole Dark Side of the Ring. That'll be great.
And they made reference to it that hand with that Mania with David Arquette against Sami Zayn at one point, right? They made because Mark Henry made a reference to the clip on social media saying, "I'm a proud father" or some shit.
Or, as we've already previously stated, and we've obviously been comedic about this shit, that well is dry. I'm going to say that's more likely than any of this nonsense.
Yes, the well is getting dry. At some point we're gonna have to find an end point for this series. I think the end point is Vince Russo, Jim Cornette, sit down face to face. That's what I believe. Have them try to bury the hatchet. Try. You interviewed both essentially for almost every single episode.
Well, because
how
that would probably go down is, okay, obviously Jim Cornette's going to kill Vince Russo. That's going to happen. Like, he's going to end him. It's over with. Maybe Jim Cornette has a heart attack in the process, and they just both eliminate, the whole problem is eliminated. Maybe that's how that goes down. I don't know.
I mean, like I said, Vince Russo said he was open to talking to Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette's not open to talking to him.
Well,
that's all I'll say.
You really don't need them both being there. You
can do a satellite interview or something.
No, that'll never happen. They'll just have them separated. They'll have one interview with Russo and one with Cornette. That's how. That's how.
Or they can do a Dark Side of the Ring. All of the times that Bruce Pritchard had to fellatio Vince McMahon to keep his job all those years.
Oh,
maybe
God.
that.
Wait, did they ever do one on the Ring Boy scandal?
No.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
They could also do Mel Phillips. They could do Mel Phillips.
They could.
And it's like infatuation with young kids. Boys, to be
exact. The whole clip about Roddy Piper talking about when Pat Patterson grabbed his ass or whatever.
I mean, you already had Tony Atlas made reference to Pat Patterson in one. I think it was the Vince McMahon documentary. Tony Atlas said that at one point Pat Patterson grabbed him by the what. And even the producer's like, he's like, hey, grab my Packer. Like, what?
Now, I'll tell you the one that I would love to see that's not possible because the man's dead. I would love to see a from Ted Turner's side. What happened to WCW? Just give him
That's a great one. That sounds great.
That would be
what led.
You could talk about the AOL merger, him getting kicked out of his own companies. Obviously, if you've read the Nitro book and all this other stuff, from that side. But I would love to hear what Ted Turner
from the business
side, from the horse's mouth. What happened? That'd be.
Honestly, you can only really get that from his son and probably from.
Right, but we can't get it from his mouth. I mean, his son is going to be what he remembers his dad telling. I want to hear what Dad has to say, who was actually there whenever his company got took away.
But Dad's dead. We'll never get that.
Right. Well, have you not listened?
That's the point he's making.
I can't.
That's the point
I can't have this. But if I could have one, that's the one I would like to have. How did you all of the shenanigans from the beginning of him buying WCW, Nitro, the whole
I have
83
the perfect
weeks,
name for that too.
all of
I
it.
have the perfect name for it too. Dark Side of the Ring, WCW, through the eyes of Ted Turner.
Yeah, that worked. I mean,
That's a great name for the episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Great.
saying. I would love to hear that, but unfortunately, Ted Turner is no longer with us and not able to fulfill that.
We could find sound bites of him talking about it if they have any, if there are that exist.
Oh, I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure.
Or maybe excerpts involved from different biographies on him about it.
Not really. I mean, he kind of stayed away from it. He was letting Bischoff and Hurd and all of them take care of it.
Once he got kicked out of everything, he basically went into seclusion. Like you didn't even see him at Braves games anymore. Like he kind of just went away. Unfortunately.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a good night, y'all.
I want a Dark Side of the Ring on Casey Israel. We'll just really get to the nitty gritty. How many? Oh wait, well, hang on. We're on Twitch, so I have to censor this. How many mouth hugs did he have to give to acquire that video game collection? Because he has said in the past he would do certain mouth hugs for video games. So how many times has this happened?
Well, it was good to do this Big Boss Man review, guys. So,
hey,
I want to see a day in the life of Casey as Raw. That's what I want.
It's not our fault that Big Boss Man's boring as shit. We had to make this thing interesting. It's not our fault. So.
I mean, we made it about as interesting as we could get.
I think he had a good career. I mean,
he had a great career.
Okay,
he had a great career. Just a great career with a side of horrible gimmicks. With a side dish of horrible gimmicks.
Having a great career doesn't constitute having a dark side of the ring story. That's my whole point.
That's
you
true.
even agreed with it.
I got you. I agree with you on that because I mean, how many times could we hear Dark Side when it's the same thing? Oh, this guy had a pill or alcohol problem or steroids, and he died early.
Here's one they could do. I got one. Ahmed Johnson. We could do they could do an episode on. He's still alive.
Oh, okay.
We could see how many lives get said by him.
Sure, why not?
Ahmed Johnson is one they could do. There's been essentially 2 YouTube videos done about his life in wrestling at this point. We could find enough. There's enough people who said he was unsafe to work with. Jeff Jarrett, Shane Douglas, if he's still alive. Booker T. Is Stevie Ray still living?
Yeah.
I think so.
Stevie Ray.
I haven't heard that he died, so.
we could do a whole list of people who claim that he was unsafe to work with. We could even get Mark Henry on there if we wanted to, and maybe Stone Cold, because apparently this was recent. I made claims that Stone Cold, according to a fan, was near his car that had the N-word keyed into his car one night. I'm like, there's no proof of this. Just a fan said that night he saw Stone Cold near his car, and the only reason he believes it is because he saw Stone Cold use the N-word in Longest Yard.
Now, did they carve N-word or actual word?
The actual word into his rental was keyed into his car, allegedly.
Yeah, that's a lot of. I don't. Yeah,
I don't believe Stone Cold would have did that. I don't believe Stone Cold would have done that. Go ahead, Casey.
Well, let's go ahead and start wrapping up for the night. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, it's almost midnight for me too.
So, I do appreciate. Well, before we say our goodbyes, what's your guys' final thoughts before we take off about the Big Boss Man. And by the way, before we do that, if who's watching, if you want our uh, review of the Big Boss Man / our review on Dark Side of the Ring, go back about an hour or two ago. And so we do deviate away, but it's because, I mean, well, when you talk about one topic, sometimes it goes this way. So
Well,
I do
there's not much to cover with Big Boss Man when it comes to the dark side. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But
True.
as I know Tex didn't watch it, but you
No.
can give me your final thoughts of the Big Boss Man.
Yeah, Big Boss Man was obviously a legend. I mean, he was a household name from the start. I mean, if one of the first things that you do in the wrestling business is work with Dusty Rhodes, you're doing good. Obviously, he's still a fan favorite because he still gets merchandise made. I saw some the other day, and he was never the guy, but he was a good guy. And there's not a lot of them. And it's unfortunately, he died from a drug thing, but he's not the only one. And I don't think that he needed a dark side of the ring. I just think they wanted to talk about him. And this was their excuse. Whatever.
My final thoughts on it is that as decent of an episode as it was not Dark Side of the Ring worthy. And I mean that wholeheartedly. It was a decent middle of the road episode, but it was not worthy enough for this show. And I'll leave it at that.
What about you, AJ?
Yeah, it was a pretty good episode. Honestly, I think pretty much after this, let's scrape on the bottom of the barrel. They just need to stop with this shit.
Yeah.
They need to stop. I just think it's
Casey wants 5 more seasons. By God, he's not done.
I'm enjoying them. Like,
it's still real to him, damn it.
No, he's a mark. Look, he's wearing Triple H shirt. He's a mark.
I can only stomach one more season. I'm sorry.
He's not wearing Hulk Hogan shirt like I.
But I don't see this show getting renewed for a 9th season. That's just me. If it gets renewed for a 9th season, God bless the producers finding something decent.
I think they'll get up to 9 seasons. I
don't see it making past 8.
But like AJ, I do agree that it was a good episode. But are they probably gonna have a little harder time to find a good story? Sure. Because some of the other ones that they already did. But I mean, we pointed out some stuff that we all didn't think about until someone said, "It's like, yeah, that's a great idea." So I still think there's still plenty out there. I mean, it's not as plentiful as before, but I think there's still many seasons to go. But I still enjoy these. I really had not a lot of complaints with their shows, but I mean, to me, I always think of the SWAT version of the Big Boss Man, and where he fed, we lost Kratos, where he fed Pepper to Al Snow and the graveyard site. So that was my favorite 2 parts, but that's pretty much it. So, you guys got anything else to add before we leave for the night?
Don't eat your pets.
Don't eat your pets.
Well, okay. If you're starving and you have to, I guess fine, but don't do it. Don't eat the dog unless there is nothing else to eat, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Before we take off, I'm gonna point one something out. I remember how big that platter is when he served that to Al Snow, and how giant a pile of meat that was. Like, there's no way that was actually pepper in that, because like it had been like
Wait.
quarter.
Are you saying wrestling's not real, Casey?
No, I'm just saying. I'm like,
Don't bust my bubble here and tell me wrestling ain't real. Don't tell me that.
I'm just saying, like, there have been like 4 peppers in that food.
Maybe he because have you ever had like a compound burger where it's like beef with elk meat or something? You ever had something like that?
Probably.
Okay, well maybe he took the little bit of meat from the dog and put it with ground beef to fill out the rest of it or something.
To make it fill it out.
yeah, to fill it out. So technically you're still getting pepper, but you're also getting Cindy the Moo Cow with it. Just to make it whole.
But that was a good show. I do appreciate Kratos, AJ Raiders, and Tex being on the call. I don't know if we'll be on Twitch that much. I just figure we'll throw that out there, see how it goes. But
you and your censorship, I don't like these ways, Casey, as well.
Well, you came here. I just happened to tell you
I had no pre-warning that I was going to have to censor myself. You're a bad person, Casey, as well.
I actually had to give you credit because I know how much you had to hold back. Because
you have so many times I've almost had to literally hold my tongue from words coming out. It was bad. So.
I'm pretty sure the second we leave, you're probably gonna have a threat fit.
Oh, you're gonna think that I'm possessed by the devil himself by the time I empty the chamber here, but that's fine. It's whatever. I'll make sure to let it all out while I'm in traffic tomorrow. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So.
Well, for those guys, for AJ Raiders, Tex, Kratos, my name's Casey Raw. Thank you for coming by. I'm not sure we'll go live next week. Maybe not. At least we'll be a review.
What, you don't want to talk about Renegade? All those great things?
No, I'm just saying if we might record it or we would go live. I wouldn't mind going live, but we had our first few episodes. I'm glad we pre-recorded, but I wanted to switch it up and go live this time. But I'm definitely interested with the Renegade episode. But so thank you guys coming by, and we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. See you guys. And we're gonna be out skis.
In the arena where the gamers rise, raw energy flows beneath the neon skies. Casey's channel, a battleground to explore. Join the Legion, it's time to roar. Like, subscribe, don't walk away, join the frenzy. Be part of the play. Casey's Rocket.